professional serving community. Talkradio.nyc.
Your boy, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from the top of my house. You know, just below the roof, 2 flights up from where I get my caffeine fix. That's the kitchen. And then I come up here to the attic, just below the roof, every single Friday, except for last Friday. Every single Friday, we come up here, we do the show called Philanthropy and Focus. Last week was Independence Day. Happy birthday, America. And for all of your challenges and things like that, it was still your birthday, America. So happy birthday, America. And I had there's a Brit that I'm working with and doing some collaboration with. And, you know, Independence Day is one of the things we call it, but we also call it the 4th of July. And he was giving me a hard time. He's like, Tommy, you know, not a really creative name for a holiday. It's just basically the day, you know, like just saying the 4th of July. And I said, I think you're just still cranky because we left you guys a long time ago. shout out to my buddy Paul. Hey Paul, if you're listening. Anyway, just having fun. But listen, the show is Philanthropy Focus. Do it almost every Friday, unless it's 4th of July. We come up here, we meet with leaders of nonprofit organizations. As I like to say, I help them tell their story and amplify their message. Which, if you Google what does a nonprofit sector connector do, you probably wouldn't find anything. But if you ChatGPT it, ChatGPT knows exactly what it does, because when ChatGPT and I talk, it knows exactly what a nonprofit sector connector is. But I think it would probably say helps nonprofits tell their story and amplify the message. We're doing that today. A couple of months ago, my friend who's been on the show, Greg and Gino, from Woodward School, came on the show and but had invited me to an event for the Freeport, shout out Long Island, shout out South Shore, Freeport Chamber of Commerce. And it was a nice lunch, and a lot of cool things happened that day. I met a handful of people. I met Greg's daughter, Melissa, who I've done some collaboration with only in the last couple months, Grit and Grace Design Studio. And I met my guest, Robyn Workman, Robyn Sparkle. What up, Robyn? What's going on? I just wanted you to say good morning. I'll probably rant about a bunch more things, but good morning. How are you, my dear?
Good morning, Tommy. How you doing? Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
100%. I'm doing well. I'm rocking and rolling. A lot of cool things going on. I was just like trying to remember all the nonprofit stuff going on. So I just got a couple quick shout outs I got to make. I am the honoree at an event September 26th for Options for Community Living, which is a murder mystery event. So I should probably tell you like exactly everybody what it's called. It is called Death of a Gangster, 1920s Mafia Marriage Murder Mystery. And I love alliteration. So when you got all those M's, it's not even M&M, it's M&M. So Mafia Marriage Murder Mystery. Tommy D is the honoree. Reach out to me. Hit me up, TommyD.NYC on Instagram if you want to know about this event, or send me an email, TommyD at Philanthropy and Focus, PHOCUS.com. That's how you spell focus. But it's just gonna be a fun old time. And I've been going out and meeting with and interviewing the staff of this organization, Options for Community Living, to help get the word out. Working very closely with the development team there, and the CEO, Yolanda Urbano Gross, who is a very good friend of mine and is a good friend of the show. She always wants me to sing my theme song to her. She had asked me to be the honoree at the event. And when they first did 3 years ago, their murder mystery event, I won Best Actor, and I got a Best Actor T-shirt. And I said to Yolanda, it was like a Wednesday night. It was late. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And she's saying, hey, I'd love for you to be our honoree at this event. And I said, well, can I still win Best Actor? And because that was like what was important to me. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what I said. And she goes, you can still win Best Actor if you are the best actor. So I said, fine, then I'll take the honor. So anyway, gang, I will actually share this so you all can see it, and then we'll get into Robyn and I will get into the conversation. But if this is something you're interested in, and you're only listening right now, if you go to optionscl.org click events. You'll see this logo here, Death of a Gangster. Again, I'm talking to the folks who are not watching but are only listening. That's how you would get there. Optionscl.org. There's different options to buy tickets. There's a cool picture of me, event honoree, Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector. Anyway, we don't need to go into all that now. The bottom line is that event is on event is Four Options for Community Living, which is an organization here on Long Island that works with people living with HIV and AIDS, experiencing substance abuse challenges, and also experiencing homelessness. They do really, really important work in the community, and that's why I'm supporting them by being their honoree. Last thing I'll say is next week we will be out on 4 locations with the Vanguard Benefits 2024 Hall of Fame employer awards that we're inducting the first 4. Tell you about that on a second show, a different show, and not this moment now because Robyn and I need to talk about other things. But if you want more information about that, you can send me an email like I already talked about. Watch some of the stuff Vanguard Benefits, or check us out, vanguardbenefitsyou.com. That's our employee benefits agency. Somebody asked me the other day, Tommy D, I see all these cool things you're doing. How do you pay the mortgage? That's how I pay the mortgage. Is we own an employee benefits agency and we work a lot with nonprofit organizations. Commercials aside, Robyn and Tommy, lock it in. All right, let's go. Robyn, I'm down there on the mile with you. Shout out to the Nautical Mile. I'm sober now, 15 years almost. It'll be 15 years at the end of the summer. And
Awesome.
thank you, but I spent a lot of years not sober on the Nautical Mile down in Freeport. Always a cool party down at the Nautical Mile, man. You're on the water. Used to go out on fishing boats during the day. Great restaurants, great food, fresh seafood, the whole thing. And then when I'm there at this event, I don't know the name of the restaurant we were at that day. Do you know
We
that?
were at Secret Thai.
Secret Thai. Yes, I think I had
Great Thai food. New
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Opened last year. We have a lot of new restaurants on the Nautical Mile, which has been fabulous. So if you haven't been down there lately, come on down.
Yeah.
A lot of new great places to be.
How long have you been
And
in Freeport? Like, are you a Freeporter? Like,
I am a Freeporter.
like
I have
for
been living in
forever?
Freeport my whole life.
Okay.
Um, Grew up on what was called the canals. We didn't call it the Nautical Mile.
Okay.
It wasn't a touristy place when I was a kid. It was
Okay.
just the canals.
Sure.
Um, but now it is touristy, but lots of new restaurants, trying to bring back the family-friendly vibe.
Yeah.
And that's what Sparkle is. We are the only place on the mile that isn't a bar, isn't a restaurant, or one of the only places that isn't a bar and restaurant. We are a theater. We are a cultural arts center, a nonprofit organization. We do concerts and plays and movies and pretty much anything you can ask for that's entertainment. We have gallery openings. We are starting a game night this next month, August coming up. And we are open to anything. We are completely diverse. We offer any kind of entertainment that you can pretty much think of. We are open to it.
Why did this happen? I mean, we talk about the Nautical Mile. I kind of like wink at the fact that it is definitely a place people go to drink and party and have some fun, right? I mean, years ago, I used to run some trips. I was a bartender for a long time, not down in Freeport, but we would take a bus full of people from the bar and we bring them down to the casino boat. Remember the casino boat used to go
Sure
out?
do.
Remember that? Now, I don't know how much fun it was for the locals and stuff like that, because and I'll tell you, I'm not a guy who does real well on the open sea. You could just see, like, folks, if you're only listening, I'm rocking back and forth for those of you who are watching. But I just, it's a little bit rocky for me. I'm a landlubber, I guess, but a bunch of Dramamine, I can get through it. But the thing about it was funny for me was you got a bunch of folks, they're in a bus, they leave Floral Park from a bar. Okay, so we know what happened before they got on the bus. We know what happened when they got on the bus. We know what happened when they got off the bus, right? So there, now you have people on the open sea gambling and rocking back and forth, and some people end up getting sick on the old casino boat. But what happened with that boat? Why did that go away? Was it not a big hit?
I really honestly don't know what happened with the casino boat. Probably just a lot of laws
Yeah.
about where they had to go because you have to be pretty far out in the ocean to
Yes.
gamble.
Yeah, because you got to be like in the
Um,
international waters, whatever that
yeah,
means. I don't know how far that is, but I remember those trips. So that's just some of the stuff that's gone on down at the mile. Before we get into just like your organization, like I want to
mhm,
know why it exists, but there's a long history and story about you and your connection to the arts and the work you've done
yes,
and how you're a teacher. And I will say here in the house, I have 4 talented children. One of them is very talented as a singer and I told you about that.
yes,
And we're going to get her out to meet you because I'd love to bring her out there and do some
that'd be
stuff.
great.
So what drew you to the arts? How did like your career in the arts way before, Sparkle starts,
Sparkle.
right before you get to Sparkle on Stage Cultural Arts Center? Let's talk about Robyn. Like, tell us your story.
Okay, so I was singing as far back as 3, as I can remember, putting on my little shows, throwing a towel on my head and pretending I was Cher, flipping my hair back. I went to school for music. I have a degree in music. I was Broadway bound when I was in my early 20s. Fell into working with bands in weddings and corporate events. Realized Broadway wasn't going to happen for me and stayed in the corporate and wedding business for most of my career. Opened my own DJ entertainment company in the early 90s and stayed with it. It became my career, it became my life. Fell into teaching as a side business just when I wasn't working on the gigs because gigging is weekend work.
Hmm.
And then years ago, somebody at the Freeport Rec Center said to me, "Would you start a drama program?" And I said, "Sure, I'll start a drama program." So that started about, oh, geez, 20 some odd years ago now. And it just blossomed and it bloomed, and the program became very, very successful. And so I started teaching drama, became a kids director. Along the way, I was always teaching vocals and beginner piano. And that just kept continuing. And then as an entertainer, as I became a little older and started realizing that this was not, I didn't want to be the bride's grandma on the stage. I was starting to not be the bride's age anymore. I was like, this is not really for me anymore. I became more of a teacher, more of a director, realizing I enjoyed being backstage more. I enjoyed being more of the teacher and watching my kids perform more than I enjoyed being the performer myself.
Where do you remember like where that change happened? Where there was where you go, like I have a cousin, I will mention his name, but he was on Broadway many years, right? I'm 47, so he's probably actually we were at a wedding and he wasn't there, but I was hanging out with his parents, and I think they said he was 45. I always thought he was much younger than I am, but point doesn't matter. He he used to be on Broadway, but now he for the last, in his adult life, he was a kid actor and kid singer, super talented,
Right.
but he's been on the production side of things for like I'd say the last 15 or 18 years or something like that. Not on camera, not on stage, doing the other side of the work. And I always find it interesting when people go from I wanted to be in the limelight or I wanted to be at the mic. And then, so do you remember what that transition was for you when you saw and I heard you'd say about being the bride's grandmother and stuff like that. And I'm sure some of that's true in your mind and some of it's kind of being cute, right? But like is that what it was for you where you sort of realized you like, I don't know, aged out of being that person, or what was it for you?
I think it was a natural transition for me. I mean, I have friends who still perform and they're
Sure.
great at it.
Right.
And I perform with my kids and I'll get up and
Yeah.
do a karaoke song here
Yeah.
and there. But I think for me, it was just that natural transition of, you know what, I had my day in the limelight and I loved it. And it was my life for many years. And then I just think it was a natural transition for me to say, you know what, I really enjoy working with my kids. I love when they shine. I love when they hear the applause and they smile and they get that natural high of the applause and the limelight.
Yeah.
And it becomes that same high for me because I think at some point I lost the enjoyment of being the performer.
Sure. Yeah.
At some point, it just wasn't as special for me. It became a job. And I
Right.
always said when it became a job, it was time to stop.
Interesting. Yeah. And then and you were able to take that skill set and that talent and pour that into these young people. You keep saying my kids. I don't think you have all these kids. I think you're referring to, you
My
know,
students.
your students. And I love that you say it that way. I'm just trying to point out, like when you say that you're lovingly talking about these young people that you're mentoring, you're teaching, you're giving them that opportunity. And I would think, you probably are glowing backstage when you see them get that all that applause too, because they're getting that feeling, right?
Absolutely.
And
And
that
so
yeah.
many of my students that start with me when they're 6 and 7, like the kids that are performing this weekend, he reminded me that he's been my student for 9 years and now
Wow.
he's in college at Howard.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's amazing to
That's
see
awesome.
him now. He's going to come and perform on his own with his partner this weekend in his own right. And
I
that's
love that.
amazing to me.
I love that. And that's
Incredible.
and that's the impact we have on each other's lives, like literally changing people's lives and changing, like, okay, so 20 some odd years ago, you're at the Freeport Rec Center, they ask you to set up a drama program. What if you said, it's not really my bag or whatever, or just if you just said no, but you
Right.
didn't, you said yes. And now how many lives are changed? And that's what I talk about with nonprofits all the time. How many lives are constantly being changed because people say yes to things, right? And lean in, right? And now this young man, I mean, Sparkle on Stage Cultural Arts Center is just about to hit 5 years. So
Yeah.
what you're referring to with this young man, you must have done some work with him at the rec center in the drama program, right?
That's how I met him.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that goes, and what if, and now you said he's at Howard, historical Black college, right? So, doing probably great work. Would love to meet him. Maybe I come through tomorrow to see the show if I
Would
can get
love you
out there.
to.
Got to move some kids around. My children, four of them, got to figure out where they're all going to be. But
Bring
if
him.
I come through, that's the other part about. Some of them would dig it. Some of them would want to be at a baseball field. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So, but that's I will tell you, my youngest loves storytelling. I mean, he likes to read, but he likes to watch movies and TVs and TV shows even more. But he likes stories, and I think, I see him walking around the house singing sometime. Yeah, I'll never call him out on it because he might get upset about it, right? But it's the arts are so critically important, and
So much so.
we just I actually mentioned my friend before, Yolanda Roboto Gross from Options for Community Living. Yolanda, if you're listening, text me or whatever. But if not, if you hear this later, Yolanda, you have to meet me out here. You have to come out to Sparkle on Stage. You have to meet Robyn. Yolanda was, as she would say, a theater kid. She went to Marist. Her daughter, who's a friend of mine, Marist grad, the whole thing, right? Theater, the whole deal. Um, there's so I was never in the theater. I will tell you this. You said something's coming up. What did you tell me is coming up? What musical are you doing? We talked about it
Okay.
right before the show. What musical are you doing soon?
So Blame It on the Movies is going to
Okay.
be premiering next Thursday, and it has 4 performances, Thursdays at 8 and 2 on Sundays at 3 p.m. It's a musical review of the music from the movies of the 40s up to, I believe, the 90s.
Okay.
It has kids and adults. It's community theater. It's really wonderful. And what's wonderful is it's South Shore Theatricals, and as they worked with us, they made me a co-producer, which was really an honor for me. And it's exciting to watch other people come in, use our venue, and fall in
Yeah.
love with our venue.
Well,
We're a small venue. We seat about 50, 60 people, and they fall in love with the intimacy of our space.
yeah, it is a cool space. I'm going to
You
show some pictures of space, but tell me what that actually means. Like, so you guys provide the venue, and then these folks bring in their performers, and they do the work there. That's what.
Yeah, sometimes we're the producers, sometimes it's our own cast. In this case, they came in, it was their own production.
Got it.
They just basically rented our space, but along the way, as a producer and director myself, they'll ask for certain things and I can input, give them my ideas. Sometimes it works. Sometimes they want nothing to do with us. Sometimes in this case, they really appreciated my ideas, my help. They had their first run through yesterday. It went beautifully. It was really exciting to see the show coming together from the beginning to now, and watching these kids and adults just bring it all together on a different kind of stage. Because, we are a black box theater. We are smaller. For those of you that don't know what that is,
Yeah, please
it's
tell us.
Black Box is a much smaller room. It's much more intimate. The stage is on the same level as the seating. There are no wings. It's not like a regular stage where you're sitting in the audience. They're up on a higher stage. It's very small.
Mhm.
And to watch them come together on it is just beautiful. It's
There's,
really exciting.
there's something about that, like experiential in the black box versus the big theater. I mean, you're like you might not be on the quote unquote stage area, but you're
Right.
in it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
intimate, right?
It is. It's very intimate. And for the performers too, it's a different experience for them because they're not as far away from the audience. So you're
Right.
really in the audience's face.
Yeah.
And for a lot of our children actors, it's a much less pressured situation as well because it's not as intimidating to be right there. You're not on
Yeah.
this giant stage. It's not as
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah,
So
I
it's a
could see
great
that.
first experience.
I could see how that would be less intimidating. The flip side of my mind was like, but you're very close to everybody. Yeah, but that's like a communal thing because you're
Yeah.
very close to everybody. It's not like I'm up here and I can't see people and like with the bright lights and stuff like that, right?
And yet we still have the lighting, we still have our spots, we still give you that experience, but yet it's not like, oh my God, there's a huge audience out there. It's not as intimidating to the performer either.
All right. If you want me to perform in the black box,
All
I'll
right, come on, Tommy, come on
fine,
down.
whatever you want
Let's
me to
get
do,
you.
man.
Let's
All right,
get
so
you.
I gotta tell you something. I was only ever in one performance other than what I do in this world. We're gonna take a break in a second, but I was only in one performance back in the day in the sixth grade at the Washington Street School in Franklin Square. Okay, I played the Tin Man in the
Huh?
Disability Awareness Week play, The Wizard of Oz. I was the Tin Man, sixth grade, 12 years old, 13 years old, whatever it is. Started my career and ended my career that same weekend. Never,
Uh,
I don't know why, but now at 47, I'm ready to
the
perform.
auditions for the Wizard of Oz are the day after Labor Day at Sparkle on Stage Cultural Arts Center.
You think
So
I
I'm
can
going
bring
to
it?
see you there.
I wonder if I still got it. I wonder if I still got
You
it.
got to come audition.
I will. I listen. You know what? We'll have to check that out. By the way, I just pulled up my go-to karaoke song. I'm not going to tell you all what it is. Those of you who know, you know. But I'll tell you when we come back. Robyn, when you come back, I want to know what your go-to karaoke song is, if you have one. I mean, you're a singer, right? So you have
Mm.
probably a lot. But like, what is it? They're like, Robyn, you get one song. Don't tell me now. Tell me when we come back. You get one
Okay,
song.
you got it.
I will tell you what mine is when we come back. Everybody's show's called Philanthropy and Focus. I am called Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector. I'm out of breath. We'll be right back.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Broncu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
That's right. That's right. That is not my go-to karaoke song, everybody. I bet you thought it was, but it isn't. The theme song to my show is not what my go-to is. By the way, tomorrow night is Dylan and McCary. Is it McCary or
It's
McCary?
McCary.
McCary. So Dylan and McCary, shout out to them. They're going to be performing at Sparkle on Stage down in Freeport on, as we said, the Nautical Mile, 195 Woodcliff Avenue, Freeport. So if you are on Long Island, not in Long Island, gang, it's an island. So if you're on the island, Strong Island representing, if you are with us here on the island, actually reach out to me if you can, and I'll be happy to pop through and check out the show with you, because even if sometimes I just got to disappear away from like all the people and like go and do something different. So if somebody wants to hang out with me, check out Dylan and McCary tomorrow night at the Sparkle on Stage. All right, Robyn, moment of truth. Your go-to karaoke song.
Landslide. Stevie
Landslide.
Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. Yeah, good one.
Yep.
Definitely a good tune. Yeah, I
Great
would love
tune.
I would love to hear you sing that. So guess what? Surprise! You get to sing it right now if you want.
No. No, too early in the morning for
Here we
singing.
go. Here we go. Ready? I'm not going to sing this, but I'll go. Keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel.
Good song.
Anybody
Good
know Marcy?
song.
Anybody knows? Because we're going to the roadhouse. We're gonna have a real a good time, right? Like Morrison is like, Tommy D, stop it. Jim, I love you. Love you, Jim Morrison. Listen, love the Doors. That is my go-to. And I if I have a button-down shirt on, like a Hawaiian or something like that, when I'm doing that song, for some reason I end up taking my shirt off. I don't know why. I don't I think of that picture of Morrison with the no shirt, one on the albums and stuff, and
Uh-huh.
whatever, it's stuck in my brain, so I end up taking my shirt.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
spoken words, last Sunday,
No.
open mic night, Sparkle on stage, last Sunday
Oh
every
no.
month,
No
6:30 to
social media.
9:30, come on down.
No,
You
no
see
social
Tommy
media
D
though.
taking his shirt off, singing Little Doors.
Gang, this is not Chippendales. Far from it. All right. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, don't Google it. All right, let's get going. So listen, I am a performer, and it's just funny how, like, as I get older, I just don't care anymore, and there's like such a time when I did care, where I like cared. When I say I care, I mean, I'm the nonprofit sector connector. Of course I care, but I don't care what people think anymore, man. We're just gonna do, as much as I can to just enjoy, because you know this, right, Robyn? This is a quick blip, man. It's a
It
quick
is.
blip, man.
It is. And you have to do, one of the reasons that I opened a nonprofit was so that we could provide a place where everybody could come and do their thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Just,
know,
let me say, like, let it roll, baby, roll. Well, I didn't even want to do that. That's just what happens. See, like live, Tommy D, everybody checking in. But you want to just let people be free, right? Like, have fun. Like, what the heck, man?
that's it.
Like
That's
this,
what it's about.
right? And like, just a little play on words, but like, this is not a dress rehearsal.
No,
This is the show. You
this
are on.
is it.
This is it, baby. This is it. Enjoy, enjoy. Tell me some stories about some of the young people that have you talk about this gentleman I'm assuming that's Dylan.
Okay.
I'm putting the
Dylan,
pieces together.
yes.
Shout out Dylan if you're listening. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night. But some of the other stories and kind of the impact, where you've seen these young people, come through your programs, and then whether it's at the rec center, obviously the work you're doing now, and just like how you've seen their lives change.
There have been so many, and whether they've gone into music or not, that the arts have just changed them because, being an actor or learning the trade of acting is confidence, self-esteem, presence, better reading skills. I mean, I could list how education just ties into STEAM. STEAM
Yeah.
is such a buzzword now.
Sure. Well, you know
And they
what?
come back.
Let me interrupt you 1 second, because that was STEM back in the day, right? And then
Right.
I was so glad when they threw the A in there for the arts, right?
Yep.
Science,
It
technology, engineering, math, and then the
arts.
arts, which we know in a lot of districts, certainly in lower income districts and in the city schools and things like that. Not everybody has the same arts. Strike it. Let me say it this way: the arts often are cut out when
Correct.
schools don't get the budgets they need, and districts don't get
Correct.
the budgets they need, and they can't be cutting that stuff out.
It's arts is so important. And you can tie it, music ties to math in every way, shape, and form. And acting, again, putting a kid on stage, helping them to read. I can't tell you how many kindergartners, first graders get their first real readings when we take a script out
How
and we
cool.
learned how to work a script.
How cool.
We play games on the stage where it's where's center stage, where's upstage, where's backstage. And it's a game to them, but it's subliminal learning.
Mhm.
And then they come back when they're in college or when they're post-college and they tell me I'm a lawyer now, and it's like acting.
Sure it is.
Yeah, being in court is like
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
And most of the kids are very successful, and it really is so exciting to watch them. And some of them on Broadway, some
Yes.
of them become true actors and are very successful in their lives. And it's an exciting thing for me to watch them become these successful people and grown-ups who are really successful in their lives, and having like Dylan come back to perform. We have a lot of our kids come back to perform.
That is so cool. That is so cool, because, like, I love to see that, because these individuals' lives are obviously impacted by the work they did with you and the work you all did together, right? So why not come back and be part of its community? It really is community. I can't stop, like, things pop into my head. It's just the way it is. And as you're talking about, like, acting is related to like being an attorney and stuff like that, I thought about Johnny Cochran, Well, I don't know because think he was a bit of an actor. But I remember on Seinfeld, everything goes back to Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
But there was like that lawyer that was like a Johnny Cochran type lawyer, and he was like so over the top in the way he was like acting out and stuff like that. And like I always thought I wanted to be an attorney, right? And I didn't,
Right.
but I never wanted to go to law school, and that's usually part of my joke, but I never wanted to go to law school.
Right.
But I don't know that I ever really wanted to be an attorney, but I wanted to be that attorney like in the courtroom, like who was like
Because you're an actor.
who's performing in the courtroom,
Because you're an actor.
right? Like
You know,
acting, you know?
we have a board member who wasn't actually one of my students, but he was a Freeport graduate who sits on our board because he believes in what we're doing. And becoming a non-for-profit organization, which gives us, the opportunity to apply for grants to help our students, to help them be able to come back to perform, where we're able to serve a low, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say to a community where we can keep ticket prices down, where we can help our actors come back, where some of them, we have the high school kids come back. So many of our high school children that not necessarily are my students, but they put together their own bands
Yeah.
and they come in and they're amazing. They're amazing. I mean, Freeport schools happen to have a great music program. I came through that music program myself. My daughter came through that program herself. And these kids come in and I am blown away by the talent that just comes through their bones. I mean, they're amazingly talented and they come in and they just perform and it blows me away and they don't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
That's why I built it, to be honest.
So you're providing a setting, you're providing somewhere for these kids to get away, and again, safe in a safe setting, right? To, with
It's all safe. It is
Yeah.
a very safe place.
Yeah.
No harm ever
Yeah.
will come to these children under
Right,
my
so
roof.
they can be expressive. They can.
Yep.
I mean, if you think about it, you and I know this, but sometimes, like, look, I have these 4 children, and 15, 14, 12, and 10, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think when John and Paul met George, they were like 16. And oh, I'm sorry, gang, we're talking about the Beatles for a sec. But like when they met George was like 14 years old. Like they were like baby boys. Like I have a knucklehead 14-year-old son,
Right.
who thinks he's a tough guy and stuff like that, right? But he's a little boy at the end of the day, right?
Of course.
But they were little boys just messing around and figuring stuff out, and then they became who they became. I mean, by the time they broke up, they were only like 28, 29 years old, right?
Yeah.
After doing the whole thing, they were.
It's exciting. We had a band come in. We've had 2 bands that I can think of off the top of my head. One of them is called Celev,
Okay.
and they played last couple of months ago, and we got them into the local paper, and they did an interview, and their picture was in there, and they were so excited, and it was such a great opportunity for them. And we had another one called Pinch of Brass.
Okay.
And now they do some things with Long Island Arts Council, of which I'm proud to say I sit on the executive board of that.
Sorry to cut you off on that, but is that a piece of like the fact that because they came Pinch of Brass, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that because summer concerts on the Mile featuring Pinch of Brass?
Yep.
Yeah.
That opportunity came through us at Sparkle.
Yeah, I see. So it's actually on Long Island. I Googled it, Long Island Arts Council. So they're playing down by you guys in Freeport on August 7th.
Yep.
Right?
On the Esplanade, we give a free summer concert series.
Cool.
And I'm proud to say I sit on that board, and it makes me, it gives us, it's a give back.
Yeah, 100%.
One nonprofit working with another nonprofit. We're also their rain date place. So, we had a great band in there the other day too. Plain Jane got rained out on the Esplanade. They came into Sparkle on stage. We were rocking it in there. It was a blast.
I'm sure. You know what? And what a cool thing to just be able to say, hey, listen, I'm sharing a website, gang, for Long Island Arts Council at Freeport, right?
Yep.
Just showing that this is an event that we were just talking about.
Every Thursday, free concerts on the Mile.
On the Mile. When you say the Esplanade, is that spot way down on the end of the Mile? Like
no, it's the one in the middle with the dolphins. It's 2 doors down from
okay.
Sparkle.
Got it. Okay, cool. I want to come down. Listen, I love live music. I mean,
it's great. We had a band last night called Drive, Cars tribute band.
Oh, is that
Fabulous.
right?
Fabulous.
my buddy's band plays. The guy who actually is singing the song, my theme song, his name is Brendan Levy, good friend of mine. He's the lead singer of a band called Damaged Goods.
Okay.
They back in the 90s, they were the Goods, but now
Okay.
they're old guys. They call themselves Damaged Goods. So, which I think is just a fun name, but they play at docks like 4 or
Oh, there
5
you go.
times a year. They play at docks. So next time you're there, next time they are there, I'll have to let you know because I
Please
love.
let me know. Love
You would
live
dig it. They
music.
do like all 80s, 90s covers and stuff like that. So I mean, it's all music we know, and just
That's why we love it. July 18th, we have Louis Anderson coming down. He not only does his originals, but he's one of the best Luther Vandross
really.
tributes I have ever heard.
So this, when you say this is regarding the
Sparkle.
that's gonna be at Sparkle.
That's going to be at Sparkle.
All right, cool. Because I was bouncing back and forth.
I know. I wear a lot of hats.
It isn't your fault. So do I.
I wear a lot of hats. I sit as a director on the Freeport Chamber of Commerce as well. But it all ties back into Sparkle, really.
It's all, that's the hub. We're gonna take a quick break, but that is the hub, is Sparkle, because again, like you said, if it rains, we can go inside Sparkle and do the show there. Dude, one thing I gotta say, Robyn, we don't hang out enough, you and me. That needs to be resolved. Not your fault. Not your fault, my fault, because you're there. I'm not. I just gotta come through and hang out in Freeport. And it is so cool. I have such great memories of being on the mile. But I want to make new ones, and certainly with my kids, it's like,
it's a great place.
Nothing better than live music. We are going to go to break, but I want to say this: I met a young woman named Nora Conlin. She's a singer here on Long Island. She's great. I think it'd be cool to have her come through and sing.
Love it. Bring them.
Yeah, she was at an event I did for an organization. I was the MC for an organization called I Try. It's a triathlon organization for young girls in middle school, and it's a really cool empowerment organization. Anyway, Tommy D, take a break. Okay, I will. Robyn, Tommy D, Philanthropy in Focus. We will be right back.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Hi, I'm Linda Marsanico. The A Train to Sedona is a memoir about my journey to love and compassion. It's also the name of my new broadcast on Wednesdays at 12 noon. When we are spiritual, we embrace possibilities and ideas, which strengthen our mind, body, spirit, health, and wisdom. On the A Train to Sedona broadcast, I plan to interview guests who embrace these expansive practices. Join us on Wednesdays at 12 noon on Talk Radio New York City.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
That's right. Push that static out of the way. Cut through the static. Join your boy in the attic, but don't actually show up at my house and wait on the porch. I'm not really inviting you to come up to the top of my house. That's just where I go. When I say join me in the attic, I mean pay attention to the show. Most of you knew that, except some might not have. So please don't show up at my home. All right, Nora Conlin actually was sharing her website. Go to noraconlin.com. She is cool. She's got this awesome voice, cool vibe. I'm going to connect her with my daughter, who I've been talking about, who's the singer, because I think it's all about representation, right? And when we see people who look like us, this kid's 9 or 10 years older than my daughter, right? My daughter can look up and see this cool kid doing this stuff that she wants to do. And I think that's inspiring and certainly empowering. And she actually came through that program, I Try, the triathlon program, a number of years ago when she was in middle school. And it's not, I don't think, well, I'll say it this way. I'm sure a lot of the empowerment that she can be on stage and her presence and things like that comes from the empowerment that she got from doing the triathlons, because it's all about young people getting access to opportunities and being supported. So shout out to Teresa Roden, Jessica Folks, the whole team at I Try for allowing me to be partnered with them and being their MC just last month, June 18th. All right, back to business now. So much going on. So many different things going on. So got to make a comment. Mick Collins, I love you, brother. Thanks for coming through. So my buddy Mick Collins works for a company called Pay It Forward Processing, Robyn. They do credit card processing with a purpose. They donate a portion of, I think a large portion, in fact, of their proceeds from merchant processing back to nonprofit
Oh,
organizations.
nice.
Yeah, so probably could connect you with Mick, maybe the
Great.
Chamber of Commerce, Freeport Chamber, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, listen, you sell ice cream in the store, right? We didn't even
I do.
we didn't even
So
get
there's
into
a
that.
great story for that.
I want to hear it in 1 second. I got to give Mick this thing because he did make a comment on YouTube. Thank you for Jesse for putting that on my screen. It says Jackie Childs, played by Phil Morris. Jackie Childs was the attorney. He's the lawyer who was a parody of Johnny Cochran, known for his flamboyant style and dramatic courtroom presence. And he represented Kramer. That's right. I think Kramer got burnt by coffee. Like it was one of these things, the coffee was too hot. Remember that nonsense back in like the 90s where like McDonald's was getting sued because the coffee was too hot? What a country to live in where you can sue because the drink that's supposed to be hot was too hot. But that Jackie Child, he was like very flamboyant. Remember that whole like he was hysterical. That was a great. Thank you, Mick Collins, for always listening to the show. I always know I got you there to bring us details that my brain is too busy figuring out other things to go find. So, Robyn, Hershey's ice cream.
Yes,
but tell me about Hershey's ice cream.
So very funny. So the theater, we were in our second year. Theater was having a little issue, trying to stay alive. Nonprofit, not easy to keep. Grants and so forth, not easy to get. And I was praying. I was trying to manifest some way to stay. Pips, which was the original Hershey's ice cream on the mile, 21 years. Donna, the owner, was retiring, good friend of mine, and she came to me and she said, "You're taking it." And I said, "Well, huh? Really? Okay." And we brought in the ice cream, and it's our second season with Hershey's ice cream. Best ice cream ever. If you haven't had Hershey's, you're missing out. We now are carrying 36 flavors, and we brought the ice cream in. And I have to tell you, it's been the best thing that could have happened to the theater because people come in for the ice cream and they go, "Really? There's a theater here?"
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, 4 years going into our 5th season. So it's been a godsend to us that people come in, they find the theater, they come back to the theater, and the theater goers get to have some delicious ice cream. And funny enough, my daughter was telling me, she's an actress in her own right, that in London, that's what they serve in theater because popcorn is noisy. Which is true. You don't think about it, but popcorn crunches. Ice cream is quiet.
If you look at a movie theater, like don't do what I'm about to tell you, which means you're definitely going to do it. When you leave a movie theater, look at the floor. It is
it's filthy.
Freaking mess. It's popcorn, snacks, it's sticky. Now, ice cream's probably going to be sticky unless you're like an ice cream monster like I am. You're going to finish every.
Oh, it's so good. So we renamed it because Pips was her mother and Sam is my husband. So we have Sam Scoops. It's located right in the same building as Sparkle on Stage. And so we have people that enjoy ice cream while watching a show, and it's worked out really well for us. And so you got Sam Scoops and Sparkle on Stage and the nonprofit and the for-profit. It works very well together.
I love alliteration. That's why the show is called Philanthropy in Focus. You said Sam's Scoops, Sparkle on Stage. That's a lot of S's. I feel like a snake. So
success. A lot of success is what we go for.
I dig it. Listen, folks, you want to meet me down on the mile. We go to see a show together. Ice cream's on me. Shout out to Milton Hershey because I've been to Hershey, PA, and I've stayed at the Hershey Hotel. I don't know what it's called. Hershey Hotel, we'll say. But I've taken my kids to the park and all that kind of stuff. This is the only year. We usually go July 4th weekend. It didn't work out this year. But we usually go. And I will tell you, the Milton Hershey story is a great story. Like, because, when you're in the Hershey Hotel, you get to watch the whole story. And
it's
like,
really cool.
He's was a great man. I believe didn't have any children of his own, but created a school and an orphanage and does great things. So there's just like, in the legacy of that name, Hershey, there's just such greatness. So gang, ice cream on me, meet me at the mile, find me, track me down, TommyD.NYC, be like, yeah. "Oh, you told me you bought me an ice cream." And I say, "Okay, I'll meet you there." So then we'll come through, we'll see a show. I want to do a video on location, you and me.
I would love that. Come down anytime.
Yeah, we'll do something. We're going to do like, hey, you should check this place out. The other thing is, my mind is everywhere. I want to get you connected to Nora Conlon and see if she can come through, maybe do a gig with you guys.
We'd love it.
Because you know what? Just it's good for everybody. That would be a lot of fun.
Always welcome.
We'll get back. to the point of like what I always say, like, what do you need? What are you looking for? What, like when you think of that, I want you to give it a moment to try to, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to one more commercial break and then we bring it home. So we go to a commercial break, we come back. What do you need, Robyn, beside from the nonprofit sector connector coming to your store and eating ice cream? Because that's what I need. How how can we help and how can we make some connects? Let's talk about that when we come back. All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
Ready to serve up success with a splash? Hi, I'm Bruce Kramer, a.k.a. the Corporate Cockroach.
I'm the Renaissance woman, Angie Snowball.
And I'm your strategy doctor, Dr. Navtej Desange, inviting you to serving up success with a splash.
Join us as we shake things up with real talk and real strategies centered around awareness, action, and accountability.
And yes, there really is a cocktail involved. Please join us and sip your way to success.
Serving up success with a splash, where wisdom meets happy hours. Cheers!
Cheers!
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
Early on in this show, some 200 episodes ago, I used to threaten my guests that they'd have to sing the song. You're probably one of the only ones, Robyn. If I asked you to sing the song, you would sing it. And it
would.
Stellar. And it was, so, you know what we do one day? We'll have some ice cream. Well, you know what? Ice cream has a lot of dairy. So we'll sing and then we'll have ice cream after.
Sounds like a plan.
Sometimes it's difficult to sing after you have a lot of ice cream.
That's true.
It probably wouldn't stop me, but it's probably would be better for other people if they didn't. So, all right. So a couple things coming up. Obviously, we talked about tomorrow night. You have Dylan and Makari that are going to do an R&B throwback sing-along. I'm going to come through with his mocktails and meditation because those are actually
awesome.
Two of my really favorite things. I'm all about the meditation. I'm all about the mindfulness, which people are like, Tommy D, you're all over the map. What are you talking about?
Good for you.
I can't listen to people who tell me, no, you don't understand, Tommy D. I can't meditate. I don't understand. I say, you know what? You can't meditate? Come on now. Everybody can. Find your zen, find your calmness. Meditation doesn't have to be the same for everybody. Find some silence. You know, people try to say to me, no, my brain doesn't stop. I go, you know who you're talking to, right? Like,
it's wonderful. She does a whole mocktail. It's the 5 senses. And, you know, after the meditation, your drink tastes a little different. And then we also have this weekend, the art of thoughtfulness. And it's a guided meditation and journaling. It's really incredible. And we have guest gurus. We're trying to bring a little wellness in. The world needs a little stabilization. We need to clear our brains a little bit, take a break from the outside. And we bring that in with art. So that's very exciting. You asked me before what we need.
Tell me.
We need a lot of things. Of course, as a not-for-profit, we are always looking for financial help, donations, corporate sponsors. That kind of goes without saying. I think any nonprofit is going to ask the same thing. The other thing that we need, our building is 100 years old, and we are on top of water. So what do we need? We need some structural help. We need some flooring. We always are looking for equipment upgrades to make our shows better. We're always looking for great artists who want to partner with us, work with us to make things different. We just had a great group in called Phocus. They do folk music from all over the world. It was such a great and interesting kind of thing. So we are always looking for different kinds of help in all different directions, you know. Again, going back to the most important, corporate sponsorship, financial donations, so that we can make our place better and better. As you know, the grant market, it's drying up. Unfortunately, it's hard out there, especially for smaller nonprofits. You know, when we go into the grant world, it's always matching donations, matching donations. Do you do $200,000 or more? Do you do 250? No, we don't. We're
Right.
very small and very local.
Yeah.
And our community needs us.
Yeah.
It's very important. And get people out, get the word out. Like doing
100%.
your podcast is so helpful to us. And I'm so thankful for the honor of being with you today.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I appreciate you saying thank you, because I used to act like, it's no big deal, it's what I do. But no, I know what I do is important, and I appreciate you.
It really is.
Yeah, I appreciate you acknowledging it. What if we did this? So I have a friend of mine, her name is Darcy, and she's with a company called One Hope. Now, again, I don't drink, but so other people still do, I understand. But but she's with this company called One Hope, and we've done some wine tastings where people can order wine. They come through, we do wine tasting, we turn into a fundraiser, we have some fun, maybe we get some singers, the whole thing. And Darcy pours wine, and then people can purchase wine from One Hope. One Hope's giving away like $10 million to nonprofit organizations.
That'd be amazing.
And then a portion of like whatever wine sales happened that night would go back to Sparkle on Stage.
That would be amazing.
All right, so we'll make it happen. I'll talk to
All right.
Darcy about it. We'll make that happen. We'll get it connected, because that's what it, and that to me, honestly, selfishly, that's like a party. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
So now what do we
Party's
do?
amazing. We like to party at
I'm
Sparkle.
all about it. I'm all about it. Especially go back to that mocktails thing. There is so much in the NA space, the non-alcoholic space right now it's really I see it as a sea change in behaviors and the way people are doing things. Now, listen, this is not for everybody, gang, but I drink non-alcoholic beer. It's what I do. I like it. That you go into the supermarket, you go into the distributor, there's a wall full of non-alcoholic options. That is not what it was like 20 years ago, by no means. And trust me, I was a bartender. I know you had somebody wanted that. First of all, you go, I got an Old Duels. Like, you want an Old Duels? No, I don't. No, sorry, Anheuser-Busch, but no, nobody really wants an Old Duels.
And they make non-alcoholic alcohol. I mean, she
It's
makes her drinks
everything.
with non-alcoholic
100%.
alcohol.
They had this thing. There's this one company. I'm gonna reach out to them, and I think it's called Curious. It's called Curious Elixirs. I'm gonna reach out to them because I think they'd probably be somebody I could have some fun with. And it's like it's like tastes like gin.
Yep, rum, tequila.
How cool is that? So
it's really cool.
So I think that's fun. And guess what? You can drive safely.
Yes.
You don't feel like you're just drinking a seltzer with a piece of lime in it. Like,
No, it's a real drink. It tastes like a real drink.
It's a home run. It's a beautiful thing. And like I think that's so important for folks to be able to make different decisions and have these different options. So I'm coming through for, I don't know if it'll be this week, but I'm definitely coming through for one of these mocktails and meditation, a little bit of namaste. I like to say namaste in the attic, but I'm not going to stay in the attic because after this, I'm going to my office, my other office. Look, other than the connections, the relationships, you want to tell anybody about, like, are there certain like partnerships that maybe like a collaboration? Like, I know, you have the history with the Freeport Rec Center. You said you're a director on the board for
Chamber.
The Freeport Chamber. You're also on the board for Long Island. Help me
Arts
out.
Council at Freeport.
Arts Council of Freeport. So, are there other like? Do you have your eyes on other relationships? Like, who would be cool to partner up with? Is there anybody on like a short list like that for you?
I mean, we're always looking to partner with anybody that wants to partner with us. I mean, we're always looking to other school districts to partner. We'd love to see more schools come through and work with us on programming. We find that a little difficult, and we'd like to see more of it, honestly. We have a lot of kids programs that are open, and to get the schools in to work with us, that would be exciting for us. More seniors.
Really?
More senior citizens. We have so many great programs and they don't take advantage of them. And again, they're low priced, they're reasonable, some are free. So
why do you think they senior communities and stuff just don't know that you're doing this, or
I think we need more marketing.
Okay.
I honestly think that our marketing just doesn't reach the people we need to reach. So sometimes that is an issue, even though we are on Facebook, we are out on Instagram, we have our website. We do get our things out to the library and to the rec center, but sometimes I think it's just a matter of what niche do we need to go to to find these people to get down to us. Like I said, we're here 4 years on the mile, and some people walk in and go, I didn't know you were here. I walk past you every day.
Sure.
We do have things in the window. So I think maybe reaching more people would be something great for us to connect with and make better connections to service more people.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to get you to connect with my friends over at the Spirit of Huntington Art Center, where I am on the board of directors there.
Okay.
And we have an artworks program there, which is, it's basically it's young people who are neurodiverse, who do marketing.
Great.
And they actually do our marketing. In fact, we'll be out with them next week with Vanguard Benefits because they're doing our marketing. They did the new logo for the Vanguard Benefits Hall of Fame Awards. And I wrote down Spirit of Huntington. I wrote down more seniors, wine tasting, flooring, structural help, and schools. I mean, I don't know. Have you collaborated with our friend Greg and Gino over at Woodward?
Actually, yes. We have, my daughter's actually working with him now.
You know what? I first met your daughter before I met you.
That's true.
I was there because were they doing the Wizard of Oz also?
No, they were doing the Wiz.
They did
I
the
think
Wiz.
They were doing the Wiz.
They did the Wiz. In the spring, they did the Wiz, right? So I'm there visiting with Greg and some of the team there and getting a tour of Woodward. Stephanie is there.
Yes, it is.
And was like putting makeup on.
Yes, she's a makeup artist as well as an actress.
And I don't get the whole thing. And I go and then I meet you like weeks later.
Right.
Oh my God, that's too funny. Like that's the connection. She had remembered meeting me, and I said, "Oh my God, you were like because I'm on the tour, right? So I'm like seeing all the different things. She happened to be like one of the things I got to see that was going on.
That's
that
funny.
day, making up the kids and stuff like that. So look, without really any further ado, I just say we gotta head out to the weekend. We say this: sparkleonstage.org, sparkleonstage.org. Robyn, I loved your place. I'm coming through. I'm not kidding. We're gonna have ice cream together. We're gonna do some stuff together. I want to come through, see some shows. You know, I want to help promote this because the arts are incredibly important. And if we don't focus on community art centers like yours, cultural art centers like yours, you know, society's missing something if we don't have these types.
I appreciate that. I really do. And everybody's welcome.
Certainly, and I don't know if I'm going to audition, but I do think I might be convinced to sing Roadhouse Blues one night at the Sparkle on Stage.
Every Sunday, open mic, last Sunday of the month.
Once you see me and I start singing, you might close the mic after that. I'll just
never.
All right, Robyn, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate being on the show. Everybody checking in, thanks for checking in. The show is called Philanthropy in Focus. I am the one and only, because I made it up, I am the one and only nonprofit sector connector. Love you all. See you next week. Thanks, Robyn. Bye, gang.
Thanks again, Tommy. Good night.
You're welcome.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join